Hi, this is Tony with Phillips Fishworks, and I want to give you a little sneak peek at a 20-gallon high that I just put together about 3 days ago. This is a jungle-style natural aquarium, and I really tried to focus on providing habitat for microfauna. So this type of an aquarium with the live plants, the rock piles, all the botanicals like the leaf litter, and the sweet gum seed pods, that's going to be the perfect environment to grow a large thriving population of microorganisms, which then in turn are not only part of a food web but part of a web of creatures that help break down the organic decaying material. So if you have a snail or a shrimp die, what actually breaks that down and returns it back to the soil or returns it back to earth? Well, there's this large diverse population of microorganisms and also macroorganisms, and they start to break down these items. Well, you've got to provide habitat for them. So this type of a tank with lots of nooks and crannies and the live plants and the botanicals, that's going to be the perfect environment to have a thriving population of these organisms. Then this is going to sit about a month. I've introduced a couple products off my website like the scud balls and the bag of bugs, also some ram's horn snails. So I'm going to let this sit for about a month before I add any fish. The fish could go in now, they would be safe, but I want to let that microfauna really thrive in here, get growing into a large number. It'll colonize all these different nooks and crannies, and then when I add the fish in, it'll be like a little buffet for the fish, and they won't really, the microfauna will be at such a high level that the fish won't be able to wipe them all out. They'll be able to keep up with the consumption. And then you don't have to feed the fish as much. You might be able to get away with feeding your fish once a week. Of course, that depends on what you have and how big your fish are, and there's a lot of factors there, so I don't want to act like you can set up one of these tanks and never feed your fish again. But in a tank like this with the live plants and the habitat for the microorganisms, you're going to be able to see a more natural environment. You're going to see more natural behaviors out of your fish. You're going to also get to see all the little life forms. Now, I introduced a couple of, I added the bag of bugs and the scud balls, and because it's a big, brand new tank, a lot of those microorganisms, they kind of disappear into the habitat. Now, giving them a few weeks, they will really start to multiply, and you'll be able to see them on the glass. You'll be able to see lots of scuds swimming around. There's actually also probably 6 or 7 cherry shrimp in there, which I have not seen yet today, but they, when introduced into a new tank, they're going to hide as well. So this is, again, just a sneak peek because I've got a video coming out in just a couple days where I build this from start to finish. Add in, put down the dirt, the substrate, adding in the hardscape, then plants and water and all of that. So stay tuned to the channel. That'll be coming out in a couple days, and we're going to keep our eye on this. This is also kind of an experiment tank because these big rocks here are a type of limestone. So I keep mainly hard water fish, and I'm wanting to experiment with adding this limestone because I have so much of it available. I want to see how it reacts with the water. Will it be too much? Is it going to raise my alkalinity way too high? That's something I'm really going to keep an eye on. But I want to know for myself, not just what I read on the internet. Some people will use it, some people can't use it, depends what kind of fish you're keeping. And another thing I'm really excited about this tank is it's more of a jungle display tank. I've always been into plants and having natural systems, but they're usually more practical for breeding. So, these are some breeding scuzzy breeder tanks up there. I use these net pots for seed pods and different botanicals, so I can then move them around from tank to tank. Also, typically the plants I'm dealing with are hornwort and guppy grass, things that grow quick and serve more of a functional purpose. Well, this is more of an aesthetic tank, something I want to look at that's a little more pleasing to the eye. For people that actually come in the fish room, they can see, oh, he's actually got, something clean to look at, not just blue barrels or scuzzy microfauna tanks. So we'll keep up. Yeah, again, more practical. But we will keep our eye on this tank and watch out probably for probably in 2 or 3 days at the most, will be the official build from start to finish. Thanks for watching, guys.